I think that we can all agree that our attention span is actually getting a lot worse. I don't think I have to tell you that. Look around you right now. Everyone, including you, is being dragged around in all directions by different thoughts, overstimulation, short form content, all that information overload that just jams your brain, making it not able to execute one activity properly. Think about it. Have you ever had that moment where, let's say, you're going to get something important in your bedroom, but on the way there, you are so distracted by many things. Your attention drifts from thoughts to thoughts, and then you forget the reason why you even went up to your bedroom. Many people in the modern day lives like this, and I once lived like this as well. Even though the example I gave you might seem like a silly mistake, but it becomes a problem when your short attention span affects the most important things in your life: your purpose, your career, your family, and so on. I had, or at least I used to, have a very bad attention span. I couldn't focus in class. I couldn't walk for 1 minute without having thousands of thoughts bombarding me. It was shit. I'm willing to say that my attention span alone could be the biggest reason why I haven't got to where I wanted to be just yet. Having a low attention span is basically a choice that you voluntarily made to handicap yourself from achieving whatever you want. Just picture this. Picture a big football field, okay? Massive football field. And you are looking at this field from a bird's eye view. And there are two balls rolling across the field towards the goal. Each ball has equal amounts of energy, just enough to make its way towards the goal. One ball has a consistent and healthy attention span, so it goes straight towards the goal in one straight line. The other ball has a poor attention span, and so it goes in a zigzag from left to right, back and forth. When each ball has run out of energy, who do you think is going to make it to the goal? Of course, the ball that went in a straight line. Here is a rule of thumb that I want you to remember. For every time that your attention drifts off and you do something else, you are basically losing that energy needed to finish your goal. Even if you only have drifted for 1 minute, in that 1 minute, you might just lose enough energy to not get you toward the goal you set out for yourself. It took me a lot of research and experimenting on myself on how to remove this problem. And I think that I can proudly say that my attention span has returned back towards the healthy condition that it should be. And I am able to become that ball in the football field analogy that is able to channel all its energy towards rolling to the goal. And I want you to save the time on the research and trial and error that I went through and become the ball that reaches the goal as fast as possible. The first thing is to make sure that you are doing the basic things correctly. Just like when you go see a doctor about your health, they would usually ask about your lifestyle first. Are you drinking enough water? Are you sleeping right? Is your diet healthy? If the basics of a healthy lifestyle are not being done, what's the point in finding extra solutions to fix your problem? Same for the health of your attention span. If you aren't meditating, sleeping right, eating a suitable diet at the right moment, then I hate to say it, but you might not be ready to watch this video just yet. If you can't master the basics and be consistent with it, you are basically building a skyscraper without setting down its foundation. Sure, you might make progress, but one bad day is enough to collapse the entire building. So, first of all, make sure that you meditate the correct way. Many people, even if they watch all the self-improvement videos on meditation, still don't understand how to meditate properly and get and get its full benefits. So just sit down and focus on your breath, and whenever you drift off in your own thoughts, just have the discipline to bring it back. Which I think you probably know that already. But what you might not know is that you should meditate for at least 17 minutes a day. According to Andrew Huberman's podcast and sourcing many research as much as possible, and also experimenting on myself, I feel like meditating for over 17 minutes, so up to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, has better benefits. Because, first of all, if you can do this for at least a month or two, that meditation habit will start to absorb itself into your everyday life. You know, when you meditate, and it might feel a little bit difficult to stay focused on your breath and to restrict yourself from thinking about anything else. But after time, it becomes peaceful. You will actually feel peaceful in meditation. In case you haven't got to that stage of meditation yet, I want you to trust me. As someone who has experienced this, after meditating for more than 17 minutes a day, that stillness and that peace turns into happiness and fulfillment. And imagine being able to carry out that fulfillment and focus into everything that you do in life. And diet. Diet is a very personalized subject. So I would just go down on what I eat a day that boosts my focus and keeps my attention span in check. My diet consists of mainly proteins. I don't eat carbs for breakfast or lunch. I only eat them for dinner and at a small amount. For breakfast, 3 to 4 eggs. Done. For lunch, a bowl of fruits and a protein source. Done. And for dinner, well, I eat whatever the fuck I want. This diet by far is what boosts my focus in work and training the most. I think that whatever you eat, the most important thing you should look for is how light the food is. For example, a steak that has been cooked in butter is very heavy. It's fat heavy and protein heavy, whereas fruits is a lighter meal. So with every meal, I would either eat food that isn't heavy and easy to digest, or I would eat a heavy meal with some fiber source like vegetables and fruits because it helps with digestion. Basically, if you eat something that requires a lot of energy to digest, you might not feel it consciously, but the attention is drawn towards digesting that heavy food. So it's a good idea to plan out when you are going to eat what properly. Because for me, I still want to get my heavy protein source in, like beef or pork, into my daily diet. And I'm able to do that at lunch without affecting my focus because I have already finished all my hard tasks in the morning already. So during the afternoon, I could just work on the less demanding task that doesn't require that much energy to maintain the focus without drifting off, so that some of the energy is then diverted into digesting heavy protein. Just saying, I am not a scientist, and I am not a bro science either. I've done my research, I've experimented these things on myself, and I've seen which works the best for me. And the third important basic that you need is to nail your sleep. I am not going to waste your time at sleep. I basically created a protocol for myself before I go to bed. You know how some countries with natural disasters, like let's say earthquakes, they have their own emergency protocol. For example, when an earthquake happens, you must first get under the table, then turn off the gas, then run down to the first floor, and so on. People in Japan, they are used to the protocol because there are so many earthquakes happening in Japan, till the point where panicking is just not a thing anymore. They just follow the same procedure and go on with their day. That should be how you approach sleeping. The moment the clock hits, for example, let's say 9:30 p.m. So that's 15 minutes before sleeping. I would follow the same procedure every day. So the procedure is very simple, just 5 steps. I do my normal hygiene stuff, then I put on my nasal dilators, which I advise that many people buy this shit. It's amazing. I plan out my next day. I set my alarm, 10 deep breaths, and sleep. I know it may sound like such a stupid and simple procedure, but what I notice is that a procedure like this almost tunnel visions myself, keeping my eyes away from the distractions that many people succumb to before bed. Whilst most people have to fight another war with themselves at night, whether they want to sleep or scroll on their phone, I don't have those problems anymore. I just follow the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go off to sleep. So let's say you have been consistent with nailing the basics of a healthy human being with a healthy attention span. Then we can take it a little bit further. Now we want to find things to not just return our attention span tolerance to a normal level, but to improve it even further. And one of the things that you can do right now to improve your attention span is fixing the state of your body. As you know, I wake up at 5 a.m. But imagine if I wake up with bad breath, my eyes aren't even fully open, my body is still cold, and I just went straight to work. Many people would say that you should go straight to work on your purpose right away because it kind of gets you in the flow state. But what I found out from doing this for 2 months straight is that when you feel unclean because you haven't done your basic personal routine when you woke up, it becomes a distraction. Being unclean, or what I would say, not at your best condition, is going to distract you even more. Because, first of all, you feel uncomfortable in your own skin. And secondly, you have this opinion of yourself as someone who is dirty and untidy whilst you are working on your purpose. So just imagine disliking your physical self whilst you are doing something important. The energy that you put into the mission won't be the one that will last very long or yield any great progress for sure. It's negative feelings that is associated with work. That will make it even harder to push yourself to progressively overload yourself with more challenging assignments because your body is pushing itself away from the negative feelings that comes with work. So before doing anything important, clean yourself. Wash your face, brush your teeth. You'd be surprised by how many people only brush their teeth for at least once a day, or none at all. Check all your basic hygienes, alright? Make sure your breath and your body doesn't smell like shit. Check all of them. This applies for physical things as well. If your goal is to become an athlete, you don't just start training when your muscles are not properly stretched and warmed up. You would prepare your body. You would prepare the necessary stuff you know, like a towel or water. Because when you need those things, let's say you are thirsty, if you weren't fully prepared and you forget shit, the fact that you are in need of water is going to drift your focus away from training. When you are clean, prepared, and presenting yourself as the best version as you can be for as much time as possible during the day, it's a guaranteed confidence boost. I've seen this with myself after experimenting this for 1.5 months now, and my focus just skyrockets. Assuming that I didn't get distracted by my phone, of course. And I think that's it. And I'm sure that your productivity, your focus, the efficiency of your work, the attention span, everything will start to improve. That's it for me. I hope you like this video and I hope it helps. A like and subscribe would mean a lot to me. See you in the next video.